Days 24 and 25, National Preparedness Month. Keeping it real and PID. Positive identification of the target. We'll start with PID first. What is PID? Positive identification of the target. What's the target? Well, let's start with pre-mission reconnaissance. These guys, if you've been following along this month, you know that I have too many of these, okay? Too many juvenile boys. That's a problem because this dude back here, Jose, my ram, he has a job to do. And that job is to breed and protect these bigger ewes. Their sons in here are horny bastards, literally. In one instance, pre-mission reconnaissance, I'm gonna shoot two today. One has a white face and horns budding right here. See that guy on the end? See his horns starting to stick out of the top of his head? We don't want that trait. These are Katahdin sheep, and they've been selectively bred to not have horns so that when they fight, they don't injure themselves or their brethren. I don't want that trait in my flock. And I want meat right here behind these magazines. I want meat so that when I go to the gym, I got meat to make muscle with, right? Other guy is bearded brown face. Where's bearded brown face? Right here. See him right there? Him. He's gonna catch around this morning. So, pre-mission reconnaissance. Those guys. Then CTR, close target reconnaissance. I'm pretty close. I'm 6 feet from these morons. Cool. Then what? Well, I could stand here, whip out my EDC Glock, and shoot him in the face. Keeping it real. It's part of what we're talking about this morning. But that's a little traumatic for the rest of the flock. Ask me how I know. So, that's not what we're gonna do. Instead, we're going to use this. Now, getting back to PID, positive identification of the target, and know your target and what's beyond it. I need to be able to see the target. Is the target clear? Are there any other animals in the way that I don't want to hit? What's behind the target? So a lot of people will tout dot sights, red dots, right? Or mini prisms, 1x, 2x, 2.5, 3x, etc. as the go-to SHTF optic. And they work. They're fast for up close. At least for me. I've done videos on this. At least for me, they're fast up close. If we're just banging steel, right, half-size steel silhouettes, man, they're great. 25, even 50 yards. Beyond that, for me, with my eyeballs, they're not great because the lack of magnification makes it difficult to positively identify the target, because the target is probably not going to be a steel target standing perfectly still, painted bright white, right? The bad guys in SHTF are probably not going to be all of them wearing white t-shirts, standing perfectly still like this. Okay, go ahead, shoot me. Right? So PID matters. Plus the level of precision that you have in your aiming with a magnified optic matters as well, because you may just have just a portion of a head sticking out, or a shoulder if they're behind cover, or a knee or a foot. Or you may require a high level of precision. For example, I'm going to shoot these boys right here. Why? Because the load that I'm using, 55 grain Hornady VMAX expanding round, will dump all of its energy into their brain pan, and they'll be dead before they hit the ground. No pain. Over instantly, like flipping a light switch. What if a bad guy has his arm around your wife, choking her out, and all you have is the eye box right here? Can you hit that with your dot sight under stress at any great distance? Now, what's the likelihood of that scenario? Probably pretty low, but it could happen, especially all y'all people who refuse to move from the built-up areas. All right, copy that. your life, live it however you want. But when I go back here, 75, 100 yards, lay in the prone, and endeavor to shoot these boys in the face, I need a high level of precision so that I get a clean kill, right, without damaging any meat. That's why I'm a big fan of the headshot. Yes, you could shoot them through the side, heart and lungs, good to go, but there's, you know, it's a big mess when you got to clean them. And now with this round, they die pretty instantly, but I'd rather just light switch them, put them down. So PID, right? And now, keeping it real. This is a homestead, y'all. This is a way of life for us. This is the way we live. We have these animals so that we can eat them. Oh, I want to talk about one more thing with PID in a moment. We have these animals so that we can eat them. That's what they're for. And we eat them. We're going to. I'm going to be eating these guys tomorrow, slaughtering, butchering today. That's what they're for. And hopefully those of y'all in the Bear Nation understand that, and you're not, you know, sopping wet P words. I can't believe you're going to kill the little sheepers. That's what they're for. They only have one bad day. That's it. One bad day. Other than that, they live a glorious life out here in the hayfield, eating, procreating, sleeping, drinking water, doing sheep stuff. Move the water hose. Ote. So the other deeper concept with PID is you can't hit a target you can't see. Now, that makes sense in a martial context with a rifle. Can't see the target, can't hit it. Have to positively identify the target first. But where it matters more so for us, and yes, I said more so, is for in your daily life. You can't hit a target you can't see. So the first thing you got to do is identify the target, whatever that may be. If that's preparedness, if that's personal fitness goals, you know, health and wellness, if that is business goals, family goals, right? You have to set those goals first. Write them, and here's your homework for today. Write them out on paper. I do a sustain, improve about every 90 days. What do I want to sustain? What am I doing good at, right? I want to maintain my relationship with my family. I want to maintain my relationship with my tribe. I want to maintain sales with business. You know, our business is Refuge Medical, Refuge Training, Bear Independent, right? I want to maintain those things. Cool. I need a plan for that. It doesn't just happen, right? Rule of the 7 Ps, proper previous planning prevents piss poor performance. You need a plan for that. First, you have to identify what's the target. Then you can reverse engineer a firing solution for the target, right? What's the plan to hit the target? Then once you have a plan, you can enact the plan. And then improve. What are some things that I'm not doing great at that I want to do better at? Well, health and wellness. Don't put garbage in your face, right? Like we had one guy on our crew, just turned 21 yesterday. So at sundown, we went out to a, fairly local, a few towns away, dive bar, and listened to some band play honky-tonk music, shot some pool, had a couple of beers, ate a ridiculous cheeseburger and some mozzarella sticks. I was like, all right, that was fun. Get up, 04:30, in the truck by 5 to go to the gym. At the gym, PT your fat ass for an hour. Right? You got to pay for that cheeseburger. You got to pay for those mozzarella sticks. Improve that, right? Fitness, improve that. Other things, improve goals like homestead goals, stuff like that. You got to write that down and then come up with a plan in order to enact those things. So sustain, improve, and PID, positive identification of the target. If you don't have goals, you need to set goals. And then once you set those goals, you need to reverse engineer a plan to be able to achieve those goals. That takes discipline, that takes planning, which are both things that we've already talked about during this series. Discipline and planning. There's a horsefly on my shoulder chewing on me. I'm no fan of him at all. Be gone from me. So do that. That will help you in your everyday life, not just your preparedness journey. Because remember, the reason we're preparing is to maintain normalcy for the people that we love. The implied task there is establish normalcy. Right? You got to have something normal to maintain. Back to keeping it real. Killing. It's a thing that happens on the homestead. I don't take joy in it. It's just a way of life. It's the end of life for 2 of these sheep this morning. That just is what it is. But the life that they lived is going to pour into my life. It's going to bring us joy. It's going to provide physical calories to us, good fats, good proteins, cruelty-free, antibiotic-free, no growth hormones, no none of that. Organic, blah, blah, blah. None of that. Just meat. Real meat. And as an aside, I've noticed, a little pro tip, I've noticed in life that the people who talk about killing a lot aren't good at it. And the people that are good at it don't talk about it a lot. You might want to keep that one in your back pocket as during your vetting processes when you're interviewing new potential teammates for your mag, your tribe, your crew. This is a way of life for us. Preparedness is a way of life for us. It's not something that we do. It's not something as a hobby. We have chosen to live our life this way because it provides us a deep sense of joy and fulfillment. And also because as a byproduct, it's incredibly profitable from a preparedness standpoint. No, I don't know what the price of meat is at the store because I've still got beef in my freezers from 2 years ago. Whole beef, cut up, put in the freezer. Got another bull that I need to put down next week. Oh no, the burden. About to put 2 sheep on a fire today. Resiliency. There is no resistance without resilience, right? And this, for us anyway, is what resilience looks like. But keeping it real, every day, these morons got to get fed. Once every couple of weeks, this electric fence has to get moved so they have a new bit of grass to chew on. Every day, they need water. Occasionally, they need help having their babies pulled. Occasionally, we have to harvest some of the juvenile males. Right? And that's just one facet. That's just the sheep. It says nothing of the cattle or the chickens or the turkeys or the livestock guardian dogs, all of which need to be fed and watered and maintained every day. And then the garden that has to be planted and weeded and watered and all that. And yes, it takes time. And if you were to do a simple cost-benefit analysis, how much does the meat off of one of these sheep cost me? Probably commensurate with what you're paying at the store until you factor your time in. But the thing is, that time that I'm spending has a deeper purpose than a simple monetary exchange, right? It's not a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet for me because it's something that we enjoy. We enjoy the sheep. We enjoy the cattle. My wife likes the chickens. I'm no fan of roosters. If you've been around here long enough, you know that. But I like having meat on the hoof and on the wing all around me. That's wonderful. I like fresh tomatoes and peppers from the garden and onions and garlic and potatoes and squash, right? I like that stuff. And it has the benefit of being deeply enmeshed with a preparedness lifestyle, the ability to provide one's own food, the ability to provide one's own security, right? The discipline to get up every morning because now you're doing something that's bigger than you, getting outside of your own circles. This is real for us. This is real life. It's part of what I'm trying to share with you all every day. We do stuff. We don't just talk about it, we do it. Keeping it real. All right, 2 boys down, Hornady 55 grain. Oh, not quite dead, but keeping it real. This poor fellow over here moved his head right as I pressed the trigger, so he would need some reconstructive maxillofacial surgery, but that's all right. He's about to get parted out and spun over a fire. Bear, I can't believe you would kill those nice sheep. They're food.
They're delicious.
They're food, and for everybody who's like, when SHTF happens, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna get into as many gunfights as I can. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Whatever you say, bro. Shalom. Meat. We are all participatory in something like this. Whether your meat comes on a piece of styrofoam with a paper towel underneath it from the grocery store, or it comes out of a field like this, where all they have is one bad day. Keeping it real.